Hello everyone, welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you are not. My name is Rochelle. I'm a meteorologist and I'm trying something different here. We're going to do a weekend forecast, a national weekend forecast. So let's go ahead, jump right into it. Let's start up with the setup. I want to start early Saturday morning. For some of you, this will still be late Friday night. So we've got this area in the center part of the country. That's going to push off to the east, and overnight Friday night into Saturday will continue with a risk for storms. Some of them could be on the stronger side. There is a level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather. We'll take a look at the risk for Saturday and Sunday, but that level 3 out of 5 risk is for Friday into early on Saturday morning. So we still have that risk as we get through the overnight of some storms. So here's getting closer to daybreak on Saturday. And even through the day on Saturday, we continue to have a risk of at least storms. That dark red area that you see into Kansas and Oklahoma, that is a likelihood of severe weather. So we do have an increased risk on Saturday, as well as some stronger storms. And heading into Sunday, that risk continues. So it's just an ongoing threat for storms in the middle part of the country, and even a chance of storms ahead of this cold front into some areas of New York, maybe even northern PA as well. So here's Monday morning, still a risk for storms, but that has now pushed off to the east. So let's talk about that severe weather threat. This is the Friday into Saturday morning outlook that I was telling you about. So that orange area, that's a level 3 out of 5 risk. But let us look at Saturday, which also has a level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Some of those areas in that orange are Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Missouri, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, and Lincoln, Nebraska. So you have that higher threat for severe weather in some of those areas. And even if you're in the yellow or the green, you still have a risk. It's just a little bit on the lower side. As far as tornadoes go, we do have what's called a hatch area. So that's where you're seeing those black slash marks. That's where we have an increased risk for significant storms. That's what I'm trying to say. They explain it down at the bottom here, and it overlaps with that same area with the level 3 risk for the most part. Greater probability of EF2 to EF5 tornadoes within 25 miles of a point. So not everyone in that area is going to have a higher ranked tornado. Not everyone in that area is even going to see tornado. Just that threat is higher in that area because of how the atmosphere is set up. Now, as far as wind goes, we have a 30% chance of seeing stronger winds. So for severe weather, you need at least 58 mile an hour winds to qualify as a severe storm. So we do have an area from south central Iowa down through Nebraska, Missouri, small part of Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and then parts of Texas as well. We, for hail, also have a hatched area, and for that's described as a 10% or greater probability of 2-inch diameter hail or larger within 25 miles of a point. And that hatched area, that includes Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Omaha, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. A lot of that overlapping with that level 3 out of 5 risk. So let's go ahead and read the summary that they have. Numerous severe thunderstorms are likely Saturday into Saturday night. The greatest severe threat is currently anticipated across parts of the central and southern plains, where very large hail, damaging winds, and multiple strong tornadoes will be possible. A broader area of potential threat will extend from south central Texas northeastward to the Great Lakes. Here's a look at the severe weather risk for Sunday. So that's day 3. We're recording this on Friday. So day 3, we don't have the tornado wind and hail breakdown that we do for the current day and then the next day, which is day 1 and day 2. But you see some of those areas in the yellow include southern Iowa, Dallas, Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth, Kansas City, Tulsa, once again, Arlington, Texas. We've got most of the state of Missouri and their good chunk of Arkansas. So strong to potentially severe thunderstorms will be possible Sunday across a broad area from northeast Texas into parts of the upper Mississippi Valley. Large hail, damaging winds, and a couple of tornadoes will all be possible. So that risk is a little bit lower versus that level 3 out of 5 risk, but it's still there. If you're not familiar with those categories, so level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for severe weather, I've got you. So we have that level 3 out of 5 risk. So that's enhanced. A high confidence that severe storms will contain damaging winds, severe hail, and or tornadoes. Over in the right corner, that explains what a severe storm is. We talked about winds of at least 58 miles an hour, hail at least 1 inch in diameter, and if there's a tornado, the storm is automatically deemed severe. Enhanced risk, that means that several severe storms could be significant, and we had those hatched areas for the tornado as well as for the hail marker for Saturday. And one thing I want to remind you of is that the strong winds can cause just as much damage as a tornado. Let's go on to the next thing. We talked about the setup. We've got the severe weather threat, but we also do have a risk for some flooding for this weekend in parts of the country as well. A few areas could see 2 to 3 inches, but it looks like we're going to have a good deal of humidity in the atmosphere as well through the center part of the country. And with increased humidity, that means we have an increased potential to hold water, and some of those storms will feed on that humidity as well, so they'll be able to maybe drop some heavier rain totals. But we're looking at a few areas 2 to 3 plus inches of rain for this weekend, mainly through the center part of the country. Now I want to take you back over to Colorado because there's also some purple showing up there, but QPF is just showing you the liquid equivalent and not necessarily the snow equivalent, because that's going to be snow up into the Rockies. How much snow are we talking though? We could be talking about this 2 to 3 feet. This is just taking you through early on your Sunday morning. A couple feet of snow within the next couple of days in some of those areas. I want to show you another output for QPF, that liquid equivalent. There are some areas where we might be talking about 4 plus inches of snow, of 4 plus inches of rain in the center of the country for this weekend. So just a heads up, we could be talking about maybe some flash flooding in that part of the country, as well as the severe weather threat. Temperatures in the country for your Saturday morning, we're looking at some of us already waking up in the 70s, and it's going to be humid in that part of the country where you're waking up in the 70s. Maximum temperatures for Saturday, middle and southern parts of the country, getting into the 80s. With humidity, it's going to feel warmer. If you're in mid-Atlantic, from Hampton Roads, Virginia, up through New England, high temperatures, not all that warm, decently mild, but not so much the case. Also for our friends heading through the Dakotas, Montana, northwestern areas of the country, also looking like we're talking about 40s, 50s, maybe a few 60s for high temperatures. Once again, some of us waking up in the 60s, some of us waking up in the 40s and 50s. Middle part of the country, just want you to know, it's going to continue to be humid for this weekend. And then high temperatures on Sunday, here's what we're looking at. A few 80s, maybe some areas pushing 90 degrees in the afternoon. A little bit warmer for some zones of the Northeast, though, and definitely for the Mid-Atlantic. So I want to look ahead. This is the last weekend of April. Climate Prediction Center has put out, as of actually last week, they put out their monthly temperature outlook, and this shows you the likelihood of being above or below normal for temperatures and precip. This doesn't show you how much above or below normal an area will be, just the likelihood. And if you're in the upper Midwest, northeastern parts of the country, down through Texas and Florida, those areas looking like there's going to be an above average and above normal month as far as temperatures go. And also into the Pacific Northwest as well. Some of those areas of the northwestern part of the country look like they will be above normal for temperatures. Now for precip, we got a couple of areas that will be below normal, but there's a decent bit of the country above normal as far as rainfall goes for your May. Now I want to thank you so much for watching this. I know it's a little bit bumpy, but I'll get better at it as I continue to do them. So let me know if this was helpful, if you found this enjoyable. And for those of you in the line of severe weather, flooding, warmer temperatures, higher heat indices, stay safe, everyone, and make sure you have a way to have alerts. Please feel free to share this with anyone you know in those areas. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more from me. I also have behind the scenes videos as well as some career advice coming up as well. I'll see you next time.